By the year 2000, 80% of new entering American workers will either be minority or female. White males will continue to dwindle. The challenge corporate America faces is, who are these Americans who are entering the workforce, and how can they best be utilized in the corporate setting with a minimum of ethnic, racial, or social problems? Social theorist Alvin Toffler called it future shock, a rapid change in our social surroundings and expectations, coupled with an inability to keep up with that change. Is this what will happen in American big business? A solution may be racial diversity management training.
I by no means claim to come here and perform corporate exorcisms, but what I do is enlighten them.
Bruce Young is president of Reynolds Young Consulting Services of Los Angeles.
My approach is not one in that it is some liberal paranoia that, well, we need to treat these people right. It's good business. It's just that simple.
Reynolds Young identifies the fact that 4/5 of the incoming U.S. workforce in 2000 will be blacks, Hispanics, women, Orientals, and others. In the April 4th edition of Time magazine, a report on America in the 21st century stated, we'll have an increasingly large minority workplace led by white males in a potentially volatile situation. Today, in 1990, that problem does exist.
Let me ask you this. How many of you have heard nigger jokes on your jobs where you work? Be honest. I'll be damned. I think it's been exposed to them very vividly that they are in fact biased, that they do have problems, that they do make assumptions that are unwarranted, and that racism is pervasive. And I think I point out quite clearly that they are indeed a part of that problem. And where the change agent is going to come in is that they realize it. Why would we be black?
Because I couldn't succeed in life as much as I could.
I'm finally being a little more honest here. Well, why is that?
Because blacks are not generally viewed in business as being good business people, being successful.
The uncomfort level is very necessary in that because of the nature of the topic that we are discussing, by nature is a very difficult one for most people to confront.
The Reynolds Young racial diversity training method is very active, heavy with one-on-one participation.
I would say when you were black, would you be where you are right now at APS?
Possibly not.
Possibly not. Why possibly not?
Well, I can't give you a finite answer on that. I don't know for sure.
Do you think you'd have all the breaks that you had and you would have had all the opportunities that you had?
Probably not.
Probably not. Why probably not?
Because there are certain images that blacks, or perception of people, of having blacks.
Mm-hmm. Well, what's the perception?
Some of the things that he indicated.
No, I want to hear you. What are some of the perception?
The approach is a direct questioning of the motives of managers, forcing them to consider, identify, and eventually confront their deeply hidden biases.
You know where the problem is from, and you are part of the problem, Donald. I am of the firm belief that if I had conducted the workshop in a very polite, curt manner, that people would be very evasive and would not be honest in confronting the bias that I like to expose during my workshops.
Put simply, the idea is to make the seminar subjects understand in a personal way the sort of frustrations and heartache that sometimes comes when a minority works in a hostile environment.
This exercise, was it uncomfortable for you?
No, I did not find it uncomfortable to me at all. In fact, I thought it was quite exhilarating.
How so?
Different point of view. Well, I think what it did, it brought out some of the areas that we need to talk about out in the open. There's many areas that we seem to want to keep behind us in a closet.
Although on the open, I would consider that I'm not a prejudiced person. It makes you think about down deep inside that there are some prejudices that, you know, were maybe there from childhood or whatever. And I think you can see from that it could have an effect on the workplace, that type of thing.
The seminar helps make a difference with managers. These managers, for example, are with the Arizona Public Service in Phoenix and participated in the Reynolds Young workshop.
Tell me that's not so.
Well, I think the proof is in the results. I mean, you judge something by the results, and the fact that we have fewer black managers or white managers, and that it's an exception